Today I'd like to talk to you about nutserts. What are nutserts? Well, they're like a threaded pop rivet. It's one of these little beauties. They're a flange tube that's tapped with the particular thread you want. The outside has got a straight knurl and it's recessed at the back. And I purchased a nutsert kit. What they call it in the brochure is a D1 hand rivet nut installation tool. So basically it consists of a variety of sizes of nutserts. This is a metric kit in both aluminium and steel, depending on the strength of the thread and what you're going to use it with. Also has the tool itself, and that particular tool can do the 10mm aluminium, the 8mm aluminium, and the 6mm steel and below. Each thread has a threaded clamp similar to what you have with your pop rivet to fit the different size pops, the stems. So you have the thinner ones and the thicker ones. This is the 6mm one. You screw your nutsert on, insert it. Well, you insert the tool first, back. One's a left hand thread and one's a right hand thread. How can you tell? The one you want to put in is always the wrong one. So then you adjust the pull, screw this in, put it into your hole and just squeeze it like a pop rivet. When you get up to the steel ones, you got to get bigger and bigger muscles because this gets very difficult to squeeze. And sometimes when you're up against a sheet metal panel, say, you go to squeeze, you're tending more to bend it than actually keep it perpendicular. Now, all tools are made to a price. Hopefully the more you pay, the better the tool is. This whole kit with all the nutserts and all that was around $70. But as you can see in here, the idea is that those two pins there, they're not rollers, fit flush against that minor diameter. And as you can see, there's a gap. As you can see here, there's a gap there and a gap there. Both of those are supposed to be parallel and touching. Those little pivots are supposed to be touching as well. But what happens is that I've only used up to 6mm. As you're squeezing it, the pressure is such that that roller is pushed and sprays the outside, sprays it apart. So I have squashed it back together again, but it's not acceptable. But I have come up with a different method. Now it depends. This is made for sheet metal type operations and you just add your threads in. For the thinner 3mm or M3 threads I use, I normally just get a center pop, tap the sheet metal out, that then forms a V. I drill it out, the tapping drill, and thread that in. That's proved successful, but this has got the M3 inserts on it, and it's a lot quicker to drill one hole and pop it in. But the trouble is, with the aluminium and the finer threads, as you're squeezing it in, it tends sometimes to strip the threads. You have to be very careful. So this stop is there to stop it from going back too far, but it is awkward to use. The other method I come up with, I'm making up a sliding drawer that's going to take all the tool and cutter accessories, and so I'm making a heavy duty one with multiple rollers to carry a few hundred kilograms. So all what I done here is I drilled the hole through, drilled the hole for the nutsert for the 6mm thread. It's a 9mm hole. Then all what I did was just use a cap screw, tighten it up until there's a thread. It's about 3mm in there, recess. Put it in there, put this on the block on the press and just pulled it down and bumped it so as that then squashed the thread. Can you see in there that there's a little mushroom shape? So it goes, so look, we'll just put this in here for you. Goes from that to that. That shows you how much it's squashed. So I squashed in it, very solid, very hard to remove, and the rollers will be mounted on there. So, or you can put it in the vise. I pull it this way because it was sitting flush. You can put it in your vise jaw and squash it that way. That's if the part can fit in. So that's a lot easier. It keeps it square, because if you distort the angle, the thread will actually come out on an angle. It's not guaranteed to come straight. So that is the main use for it. Also, if you've watched my other video on the monitor stand for the SX3 CNC mill, I used the nutserts for them. These are what's left from them. So trouble was, I ordered some handles, M6, and like some things you get from eBay, if they arrive they may be damaged or the wrong thing. I ended up with M8. I wanted M6, I got an M8. So I made up a threaded M8 rod, drilled and tapped at M6. I said, yep, I'll just lock that tight on. But every so many threads they would align and it would cut through the M8, so it would come out like a helical and snap off. So I actually purchased this set of nut inserts for that. So what I did was get the nutsert, measure the length, cut off the excess and left about say 1 millimeter. Then with that part in the actual part, I then just got it in the vise and crushed it, squeezed it. So the flange flared up, gripped into the, I had drilled out the M8 thread to 8 millimeter. So it then sprayed out into the aluminium handle and the flange pushed into it, and I then managed to get a M6 thread into an old M8 handle, and they work perfect. And if you're going to apply more than a couple of ton pressure with your hand, they may come out, but I won't be doing that. So nutserts, you can buy single packs, eBay. You can use them in the vise. No special tooling if you don't want to. Just a cap screw, high tensile thread so as it doesn't rip out. This particular one has a chart. That's the thread sizes. There we go. And I'll tell you what thread it is and what size hole to drill. So that's all you need. If you want to make panels up, if you do sheet metal work, or you have an odd thread you want to fix, I highly recommend them. Nutserts. Thanks for watching.